God damn, that's a jam. What's going on, everybody? We are back for the Circa Pick'em and Survivor for Week 10. We have plenty to discuss. We are going to give Rob the floor here shortly, but I do want to say like and subscribe. We are on YouTube. Hit us up there. Hit us up in the chat with your comments. What's your Survivor looking like? Are you surviving through Week 10 like we are? So what's going on, everybody? And we have Rob Brink. We have Tyler Beaker. I am Russell Clay. We're all over at fantasyguru.com. All right, Rob, you texted us yesterday, your big balls in the wheelbarrow, saying, boys, let's do Bears in our Survivor this week. Tyson Bagent, what's going on? I mean, fired off. What was the take here?
Boys, you play to win the game, okay? We're at the fucking halfway point. There's a shitload of season left, right? And the only way you're going to take this thing down is when Cincinnati loses this week or the next 50% team loses next week or whatever, right? One of these big fucking favorites that everyone's going to be on has to lose. That's the only way you're going to end up winning this thing. I'm not saying Cincinnati's a bad play, but from a game theory perspective, in my opinion, the Bears were a great play last night. And I presented it to the board. I got a GIF. I got a fuck off. I got a
laugh emoji. A laugh emoji.
Laugh emoji. I got a Tyson Bagent. Yeah, fuck you. So I was shit on. I was totally shit on. And to my credit, I didn't rub it in. I sent one GIF last night when it was like close. The Bears were gonna win it, but I didn't rub it in. But at some point, boys, we've got to take a shot somewhere. We've got to.
Yeah.
And I thought personally, the Bears were a good spot last night to take a shot against Carolina. Yes, it was dicey. Yes, it was risk. But again, if we don't take some risk here, we're gonna get wiped out with one of these 50% owned plays that wipes out half the board. That's it. Done. Finished.
It is true, and we haven't seen one in probably 3 weeks, but those first 5 weeks of the year, it was consistently just bang off the board, 50% or 50% or 50%. Tyler, so honestly, I'm pretty rookie level with Survivors. This is one of my first years doing it, but what's your thoughts here on sort of surviving towards, I mean, we're already a 90th percentile entry here in Circa, 1,100 left. We started with 8,000. So there is game theory at this point. We could also just sell our entry for 15 grand, right, Rob?
Well, the other thing you have to take into consideration here, there are still guys that have 5 entries. Okay. They have 5 going to R1. We are extremely handicapped to them the later we get in the season, because then they're going to start hedging big time, right? So, the deeper you get, those 5 entry guys, super dangerous, man. Like, we're behind the 8 ball, even though we're in the 90th percentile with that one entry.
Tyler?
I agree. We've got some heavy hitters left in our back pocket. We've got the Bengals. We've got the Chiefs. We've got the Eagles. No, not the Eagles. The
Boys.
The Cowboys, yes, thank you. But some of those we got to save for holidays on those small 3-game slates. I like Rob's style of just picking a bad team and targeting them. And for me, that's kind of the Jets this weekend. I think they're an interesting play. The Raiders, Antonio Pierce, they got their 1 win. That trend of the first game after firing a new coach came and rang true against the hapless Giants. I don't know if it happens 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah. All right.
When we get to the Survivor section, I've got a shitload of thoughts here, and I'm not suggesting that this is the week that we have to take our shot. I just thought the Bears were a good spot to at least try to take a swing, but water under the bridge.
And hey, we're going to talk about this game, this Bengals-Texans game, but even before you kind of brought this up, I was looking at that game like, man, that's a weird game. But all right, so we didn't do the Bears last night, -3.5. They actually didn't cover this 3.5 point spread. The Panthers actually somehow covered. one of the worst offenses I've seen on a nationally televised game.
I will show you guys a text. This actually happened. I texted Jeff Mans and said, let's fucking take the Bears. Bet 8,000. Our entry's worth like roughly $8,000. Let's bet $8,000 on the Panthers spread. And then when the Bears win and the Panthers cover, we're fucking elated. He said no, but I did make the offer to put $8,000 on the Panthers.
Well, I did put, what do I got here? I went to I did put like $10 on the Panthers to cover. So there we go. That's at least a 0.2% hedge there. All right.
Nice.
Patriots Colts. First game on the thing. Russell accidentally put a 5 here. I meant a 1. A 1 on the Colts here. It's in Germany. This is just, I'm just worried the Pats are done here. They did lose their one guy that was kind of chugging along with Kendrick Bourne. He was looking great in that offense. Now he's gone and they're forced to use Juju 7 times a game, who, you know, he's looking like the guy at the YMCA at this point. Rob, any thoughts here on the Patriots and Colts?
No, it's in Germany. I don't want any part of these international games. I'm gonna keep on that stand. I'm not betting international.
Tyler?
You could talk me into the Colts. I'm going to agree with you. The Patriots have scored over 20 points one time all year. The Colts have done it every single game. The Gardner Minshew mania is still here live, and we got a struggling Patriots team that's looking forward to 2024 already.
Yeah, and I saw a funny little clip about Bill Simmons or some Patriots fan finding out about Tankathon. .com and how, you know, bad teams track, you know, where their top pick is, and they're just walking into this, you know, they've had 23 years of just success, and now it's like, yeah, no, you're going the other way now. So Pats fans, welcome to what the rest of us kind of go through on a yearly basis. So all right, Ravens 6.5 point favorites over the Browns. Jeff has a 3 here. Tyler, you have a 3 here on the Ravens. Looking like one of the best teams, if not the best team over the last month of the season, decimating the NFC here over that 3-week stretch. But Tyler, break it down for us. What do you like about the Ravens?
This offense and defense are just both playing phenomenally well right now. Just absolutely spanked the Seahawks last week. I'm expecting this defense to give a lot of troubles to Deshaun Watson. The team that just lost their right tackle, Jed Willis, and I think their other swing tackle, DeJuan Jones, is also DNP to start the week, who's filling in for the other left tackle who's already on IR from like week 1 or week 2. So it's a depleted offensive line with a run game that's not going anywhere. Like last week we saw Jerome Ford 20 carries for 40 yards. This run game's non-existent. As soon as the Ravens are up ahead and force the Browns to become one-dimensional, they're just going to run away with this game. This defense is playing lights out. Like they're on par with like the 2020 the 2000 Ravens defense that was like one of the best ever in terms of like EPA per pass allowed. They're just playing phenomenally.
Rob?
I can get behind Baltimore here. I mean, less than a touchdown. I certainly can't argue the play. I think the Ravens are playing great football right now.
Yeah, it's as a man who had maybe put a wager on another team to cover against them recently, that team's damn good, and that defense is damn good. So Kyle Hamilton, all those draft picks they've invested in that defense, Patrick Queen, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Monstrous, D. All right. Next one here. And this is a Vegas strangeness. Texans, Bengals -6.5. Jeff has a 4 here. Rob, you have a 5 here. Tyler has a 4. And I threw a little nibble on the Texans to cover here. That was before the T. Higgins officially out news. T. Higgins is out, and Jamar Chase is practicing in a limited fashion. Cincinnati's the better team here. But, guys, I have to say, CJ Stroud is better. I was really high on CJ Stroud. Year one CJ Stroud, I've been on record where it's like I have no expectations in year one. This defense is mediocre, but could maybe pull off something here. I just, historically Burrow's been kind of limited when Higgins or Chase are out, and with both limited, I think we could see a cover here. This is a hot button topic because in Circa, what is it, like 97% of entries still have the Bengals. This is a clear Bengals spot. There's not a lot of other great spots this week for Survivor, unless you want to go with the Cowboys, but then you're going to need them in a couple weeks. So, Rob, you said you went through the whole Circa Survivor thing. So, I mean, this seems like a good place to kind of jump into this now.
Oh, you want to talk Survivor? So here's the thing. Cincinnati, 97% of entries have Cincinnati. That doesn't mean it's the wrong side to take here. My only point was with the Bears was we could take a swing somewhere else and pray for some chaos here in this Cincinnati game, which, if you watched Stroud last week, which I did heavily, I had him in DFS. I still didn't cash. How did I have him and Tank Dell and not cash? But it was hard. It was hard not to cash with those two. But, Houston's they're playing okay football. Like, that offense looked fucking explosive last week. So I don't know. Like, to me, this game, yeah, since he wins, I mean, what are they, like 70% on the money line, something like that. So, like, I think this is a fine spot for Cincinnati, and I wouldn't just avoid it just because, like, 100% of the field has Cincinnati. But, for the contest itself, not Survivor, but the pick contest, I think I'm good with Cincy here under a touchdown, even without T. Burrow's looked really good. Chase will be okay. And then you get the great Tyler Boyd. Here we go.
Tyler, you had a 4 here. Jeff has a 4. Rob has a 5. 2 weeks ago, Houston did lose to Carolina, so that context is there as well. So what do you got?
Not the great Tyler Boyd, the great Trenton Irwin. That's who I'm excited for. Studs galore. But I'm expecting Chase to play, and for that reason, I'm in on the 6.5. Let me just go through the Texans injury report real quick, just saying these names. Will Anderson, questionable. Kaimi Fairburn, the kicker, DNP. Steven Nelson, one of the starting corners, DNP. Damian Pierce, DNP. Laramie Tunsil, DNP limited. Jimmy Ward, DNP. Nico Collins, DNP. You get the point. There's a lot of banged up players on the Texans right now. And for that reason, I'm comfortable laying the 6.5 with Cincinnati, who could be down T. Higgins. But the rest of this unit, they are trending up. 4 straight wins against some really good opponents. The Texans, yeah, CJ Stroud looks great. And that's coming off one singular outing where he went fucking nuclear, 470-5. I don't want that one outing to cloud the judgment of this still being a Texans team that has a lot of steps to go to becoming an AFC contender.
Okay. You sold me. That's fair. Oh, Nico Collins potentially being out might hurt as well, big time. And this Bengals defense has looked good. So all fair points. All right. Moving on to this stinks. This line stinks to me. Jacksonville 6-2, 3-point dogs at home. San Francisco 3-game losing streak coming into this game. Coming off by getting Deebo Samuel back. I am a big Jags fan, and this just smells like Vegas is going to wheelbarrow my money into their bank account. So this game stinks. Everyone stayed away. Rob, do you have any thoughts on this game?
To me, it screams San Francisco. It really does. And the
Yeah.
fact that this isn't 3.5 is sort of shocking. What is current market on this game, by the way? It's still sitting three in market. So yeah, I don't know. Like, it screams San Fran to me. We've all seen, Jacksonville play some decent football and some really bad football. So who knows who shows up here in Duval. I'm just going to stay away from it. But I feel like, San Fran is just screaming obvious side here.
Tyler, any thoughts here?
No, I'm kind of with you, Russ, where it's very scary. The Niners are 1-2-1 against the spread on the road this year. The Jaguars 4-0 against the spread at home. But this is the Niners. Both teams have had an extra week to prepare. It's a scary game for me. I'm delaying writing this in my game script article just because I want to get more information. I'm staying away.
And what's interesting is the Jags defense is good. Vegas has been on the Jags all year. Like, they've been favoring them even after that early season stretch. So for them to kind of be, 3 points the other way at home, that stinks to me bad. So maybe might be a 49ers guy this week. All right, next game, Saints Vikings. Saints 2.5-point favorites on the road. We get week 2 of Josh Dobbs, and week 1 of Josh Dobbs was absolutely electric. Getting the play calls, didn't know any of the names of the players on his own team in week 1. But week 2, Rob, what are we looking at here? You had a 3 on the Saints.
Yeah, I just moved on to them, actually. So they're sitting 3 in market. That move from 2.5 to 3 is a big move in an NFL spread. So, I think, and by the way, I do want to talk to you guys about Saints and Survivor as well. I don't think we'll get there, but I don't think, Dobbs did what Dobbs did was amazing. But he's still Dobbs. They still don't have JJ, right? So to me, this is a good spot to take a shot on New Orleans. And I like the number here at 2.5 when it's 3 sitting in market.
Tyler, any thoughts here on the Saints Vikings here?
I'm with Rob. I agree on the Saints. I think getting that at 2.5 is a smart number. I'm not buying the Dobbs hysteria. Yeah, it was a fun thing to talk about last week, but this is a Saints secondary that's absolutely phenomenal in pass defense. They're allowing the second lowest completion rate, third lowest yards per attempt, 7th fewest yards per game. Dobbs is 32nd in on-target percentage. He's not an accurate quarterback. He's number 3 in most turnover-worthy throws. I'm expecting some interceptions here. I'm not expecting this to be a clean game. They also just lost Cam Akers. Not expecting Justin Jefferson. Jordan Addison's going to get shadowed by Marshawn Lattimore. It's going to be terrible running by Madison, who's been inefficient all season, and a lot of dinks and dunks to TJ Hawkinson. Not expecting a big game here from the Vikings offense. I like the Saints, and I could be talking to them in Survivor as well.
No, here now we're gonna.
I do want to throw out there. We did have a comment, Mike Bunting. Hey guys, 8 teams remain in my Survivor. 6 teams still have Cowboys, and will probably use them. Should I roll with the Bengals or Steelers, or is there another team I'm missing? Mike, I would definitely check out if you have a 2-game slate on Thanksgiving or 1, because we had a Jeff Mann's serious text about Survivor, knowing that there's some noobs like me doing picks this year, where he's like, hey, that's a single slate. So if your Thanksgiving slate is a single slate, then you might not want to burn the Cowboys. I mean, do you guys have any other thoughts on that before we roll on?
No, I think that's right. I don't hate his take on the Steelers either.
Yeah. I love picking on Green Bay. Sign me up. I've been shitting on the Steelers left and right all season, but yeah, give me them against Green Bay.
All right. Let's move on to that game. Actually, Steelers -3. Rob, you have a 4 here. Jeff has a 2. Tyler has a 2, and I have a 3. I am fully on board with picking on Green Bay. The redeeming qualities of this offense are just nothing. Aaron Jones looks like 29-year-old Aaron Jones. As I joke, AJ Dillon running in work boots. on the construction site. Romeo Dobbs, Christian Watson, Jordan Love, rough stuff there. So, yeah, I mean, this one seems pretty clear. Rob, what do you think about your Steelers?
I think what the fuck is Green Bay going to do against the Steelers defense? That is my entire thesis. Throw the Pittsburgh offense out. I don't care about it right now. But what is Green Bay going to do against this Pittsburgh D? I mean, TJ's going to fucking rip Love's head off. I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
I don't see how Green Bay moves the football in Pittsburgh. Forget about it. I like this spot for Pitt a lot.
Tyler, anything else to add there other than just targeting Jordan Love like he's the kid in gym class?
Exactly. He kind of nailed it there. Great setup, though, for the Steelers run game to get going against the Green Bay run funnel defense. We've been talking about Najee not being phenomenal this year for fantasy purposes, like week in and week out, but I think this is a spot where he gets going. Add in Jaylen Warren's explosiveness. I think if the Steelers get up by more than 7 points, it's game over.
Yeah. Yeah. The only thing I will say is George Pickens sulking around the field is really a bummer for me. But yeah, that's weird, but it's still
Deontay season.
It is 100% Deontay season.
Who the fuck does Pickens think he is? I mean, come on, man. What is he? Second year player? I mean, give me a fucking break. Pick your head up and play football, dude.
Yep. All right. Bucks Titans. Bucks 1 point favorites at home. Will Levis starting and looking like a beast out there. Nobody touched this game for good reason. This is a weird as hell line. Tyler, you got anything here?
I'm excited about this one. This is two pass funnel defenses where we're going to see both the Baker Mayfield versus Will Levis passing aerial attacks. The Bucks right now, they enter with both their starting cornerbacks injured. Jamel Dean in concussion protocol. Carlton Davis back-to-back DNPs with a toe injury. I think DeAndre Hopkins goes absolutely apeshit here. And then the other side, like the Titans haven't allowed a ton in the rush game. They've been inconsistent with that. If we get Rashad White limited, we could see a big Mike Evans, Chris Godwin game if they just like pepper the intermediate area of the field.
Rob, any thoughts here on Titans Bucks? You have a side?
I have no real thoughts here whatsoever.
Moving on.
That's why I didn't put a number by this one. I don't have any real thoughts.
All right. Falcons, Cardinals. Cardinals 2 point dogs at home. Kyler coming back. Falcons. All right. So I've shit on Arthur Smith a lot this year from a fantasy perspective. He is not a bad play caller, generally. Like, he's creative. He makes, some sick plays. He's not a bad coach. It's just fantasy-wise, I hate him. Jeff has a 5 on the Falcons to cover. 2 points. Rob, you have any thoughts on Kyler coming back? This pretty depleted Cardinals roster, but it's Kyler.
I've never been a Kyler guy, so outside of him running around like crazy and pitching the ball downfield, like, I've never been impressed with this dude. So I don't really care if he's back or not. Realistically, I would expect to see quite a bit of rust on him, though, and so I don't hate Atlanta here. I don't know if it's a 5, but under a field goal against Arizona, yeah, it's probably a good spot.
Tyler?
I don't know, man. I'm actively rooting against Arthur Smith, so for me, this is more of an emotional play where I can't back this one. Kyler, I think he's going to provide him some much-needed excitement to this offense. They likely get back James Conner, too, which I think is going to be phenomenal for this team in terms of keeping on schedule with the down and distance. We saw Marquise Brown absolutely light it up the first 6 weeks last year with Kyler prior to Marquise Brown's injury. I'm expecting him to turn all those air yards into actual receiving yards now. So I kind of actually like Arizona, but not enough at a +2 number to take it. And I don't know about Atlanta. They start so slow. Like, they're 1-8 in first half spreads this year. They're just not good.
Yeah. Rob, do you have the public money in front of you? I'd be curious. I feel like sports books are definitely pricing in all the public money coming in on Arizona, but We'll see.
I don't have it.
All right. Next one here. Lions, Chargers. Lions -3, Chargers +3 at home, but home in quotations. Probably be a lot of Lions fans there. 3, Rob, for you on the Lions to cover. Tyler has a 5. I have a 4. This Chargers offense without Josh Palmer and Mike Williams is really limited. They put a lot of stock in that Quentin Johnston pick, and he is being used on end arounds and nothing. So I don't know how they're going to move the ball consistently. They haven't really since Mike Williams went out. Rob, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I like Detroit here, laying the field goal. I mean, I haven't seen much out of this Chargers offense that there is the love. Herbert's he's been okay, I suppose, but Detroit's a good football team, and I think a much better team than the Chargers here. So, laying 3, I'm good with it.
Tyler?
I agree. I mean, we've got the Chargers that really struggled in terms of offense over the past few weeks. They are coming off a short week off Monday Night Football. Aside from that early punt return touchdown against the Jets, that offense was like non-existent. Like they were punting the majority of their drives. The Lions, they come off their bye. They've got David Montgomery returning, 3 offensive linemen returning. They're 6-2 against the spread, 3-1 against the spread on the road. I love the spot for the Lions. I grabbed it earlier in the week. Just think that they score so many points that the Chargers are going to have trouble keeping up.
Yeah, I don't really have much of a thought there. I'm watching our sheet shifting. There's some good stuff going on there. But in terms of this game, I kind of feel like the Chargers defense has taken advantage of some bad offenses over the last couple weeks, and they're going to be back to bad. All right, next one here, Giants and Cowboys. Giants plus 16.5. I mean, Tommy DeVito's cooking, capicola, slicing capicola on the sideline there during the game. He's taking sports bets in. I knew one Italian guy in high school, and he had his own little sports book and was an angry pitcher. So shout out to Bobby Foley. But what's going on, Rob? You are on the Giants to cover here. What do you got?
I mean, I don't know how much more explanation I need. 16.5 points. How many 3 scores have been covered this season? I would like to know if that's readily available to anyone. How many teams have covered 3 scores? I don't care if it's Tommy DeVito, Danny DeVito, or fucking, I don't care who it is. It's an NFL football team. Dallas is going to win the game. They're going to win it handily. But 3 scores is a lot. I mean, you even see Dak fourth quarter. I don't know.
Tyler?
4 different times the Cowboys have beat somebody by over 16.5 points already, including this team in week 1 when they were fully healthy. 40-0 on their own home turf.
Wow.
This team has got it going on. This defense can bring back pick sixes, fumbles, scoop and scores. Yeah. Usually I'm with you, Rob, in terms of backing, but not when it's Tommy DeVito.
Well, you totally just invalidated my argument in like a quick Google search. So I'm going to stick with it.
I just worry about, where the heads are at of this Giants team. Like Saquon has to be just livid right now that he's on this roster. These wide receivers have to be pissed. I just worry that this could be too far gone at some point. And this is one where the floodgates open. And as Tyler mentioned, this team was already at a disadvantage, so weird things can happen.
Matt Barkley could always come in and backdoor it.
You're right. 16 is a friggin' lot for an NFL game. All right. Commanders, Seahawks. I don't I don't know why my number was a 4 there, but Commander, I don't know what happened there. We're gonna have to adjust that. Commanders plus 6.5. I guess I am on Washington this week. Geno is just not. He's kind of morphed back into backup Geno over this year. He's really, really struggling. 6.5 is a lot of points for a Seahawks team that I just don't know how they're gonna sort of win a lot of these games in the second half of the year. So, Tyler, any thoughts here on this Seahawks Commanders game?
I think we're on the right side here, backing Washington. I don't really have a strong lean on this one specifically, but I agree with you that Geno's just kind of fallen flat multiple times. 22nd in EPA per play. Not expecting a major outing. This is a team, though, Washington, where it's a get-right spot for him on paper. Like, there's going to be a lot of DFS stacks that are circled around Geno, DK, and one of the other Seattle wide receivers. But there's also a very good chance that team comes out flat, tops out at 200 yards, and just Geno's it. Just a very average, mediocre, middling outing. And this guy, Sam Howell, 4-1 against the spread on the road. He's been covering the Seahawks pass defense you can throw against. They've got some great names, but it's a team where you really just avoid the run game and you just want to throw against Seattle. So I think Howell, who leads the league in pass attempts, the team, Washington is number 3 in pass rate over expectation. They're going to be happy to oblige and just throw. And if that's the case, maybe we get Howell to do some magic. This is a game I'm staying away from personally.
Rob, any thoughts here?
I was just checking the total, 44.5. So I think Washington's the side personally. Wish it was 7. If it was 7, I'm in. Is it 7 in market right now, or is it still sitting 6.5?
6.5, 5.5, 6.
Wow. Yeah. So it's not really moving in our direction either, but yeah, I can get behind 7 on Washington, but I don't want to I don't want 6.5. So I'm off.
Fair enough. All right. Jets, Raiders, pick 'em. Tyler has a 1 on the Jets. This Raiders team did look good last week, but we have seen this saga before with the interim coach. Wasn't it Jeff Saturday who came in? They won their first game and then got blown out 7 straight times after that. So I am skeptical of the Raiders still. Probably going to be better off without McDaniels rest of the season, but this is a fair spot to go back to the Jets. This game feels like a stay away to me. Rob, any thoughts here?
I have trouble jetting. I mean, I really do. I don't know. I just can't pull the trigger. I think Tyler's right in that the Jets are probably the side here. But in a pick 'em spot, I'd like to get a point or two, but so I'm off of it. But yeah, I think the Jets are probably the plays.
Yeah. Tyler?
I mean, it's with a 1 confidence, guys. It's more a reflection of the board this week than anything. But the Raiders are just bottom dwelling in run defense. This is a team that you can run against, and Breece Hall, my goodness, he's one of the best, aesthetically looking running backs in the league right now. He just looks so good every time he touches the ball. They're going to be able to dink and dunk quite a bit here, getting Breece involved in the pass game. I think that they have a good chance of covering here. And this defense against Aiden O'Connell, who's a round 5, round 6 rookie. Give me that defense against Aiden O'Connell all week.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I kind of have a theory that Robert Saleh's head is distracting for opposing quarterbacks, but we'll see how Aiden does this week. But that's a running theory I currently have. All right. Broncos, Bills. Bills 7-point favorites against the Broncos. A weird game. 7 points. Bills have been really inconsistent this year. Tyler, what do you got?
You nailed it. Their inconsistency is why I'm off it. The Broncos defense is nothing to write home about, but what version of this Bills offense is going to show up? They could blanket this team 40-7. That wouldn't surprise. Or it could be a 1-score game. And there's it runs the whole gamut to me. I don't have a good feel for this game. My lean right now is just to stay away. There are better spots for us to pick.
Rob, any thoughts here?
I mean, I'm surprised. If you told me week 1 that this is going to be -7, I would pile into the Bills with every penny I had. And so it says a lot about where Buffalo is right now as a team that we're not just hammering Bills -7 here. So that is concerning if I'm a Bills fan. So I am just laying off.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, moving into Survivor here. We kind of reviewed the slate. It's an ugly slate for Survivor. There's a lot of teams like that Jaguars 49ers game kind of taking 2 teams off the board, and then you have, Falcons Cardinals playing each other, Titans Bucks playing each other. So as a staff, we're all in on the Bengals, which I imagine in Circa is going to be 60-70% this week. Kind of like last week with the 2 teams, the Saints and that other team. Who was the other team that we were on? Oh, well, it doesn't matter. But Bengals 15. We did have people sprinkle on the Steelers, me and Tyler, and then Saints. Saints is an interesting play that I could think about here, but as of right now, the Bengals are locked in. Rob's already given his thoughts. Tyler, do you have anything else to throw out here?
Not a ton. It's really just one where we want to get as close to accurate information we can with final injury reports. So don't go rushing to submit these. There's no real need to right now anyway. But I want to get more information on Cincinnati for sure.
Yeah. Rob, anything else to add?
I mean, I've sort of said it all. Like, I think Cincinnati's a fine play. We'll see what happens on the injury reports. We just go into this eyes wide open, knowing that this is going to be 60%. Again, we're only at the midpoint, so that's fine. I don't need to force anything crazy. But I do think, there's probably a few spots we could look at: Pittsburgh, New Orleans, those kind of places. I went and ran out the rest of the schedule. Houston's going to be the chalk next week, I think, which is not a great place to be. And I was trying to figure out where else we could go, and I'm not exactly sure. But, everyone's going to be on Dallas for Thanksgiving. Most everyone has saved them. So, it's going to be heavy Dallas Thanksgiving. And so anyways, just running it out. I mean, at some point in the next, maybe even next week, we're on Houston, which sucks. Then Dallas. And then there's just a lot of spots where you're taking teams that are in coin flip games, right? So this gets very, very hard after this week, I think. So, if we want to secure a win this week, potentially with Cincinnati, let's do it. But I also would not be opposed to like New Orleans or Pittsburgh.
Yep. So it's going to be, yeah, I mean, and this is the thing, right? Like our success is kind of what's causing the distraction here at this point, because we have so many good teams off the board. We've all made it. Hard to make it 10 weeks in a Survivor, but this is kind of what it looks like if you do make it this far and dodge all those bullets. So much like Phil Hellmuth, we are dodging bullets. All right. Anyway, with that very mediocre segue, we are finished with our week 10 Survivor and Circa picks. Thank you all for tuning in. Please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're checking us out on the Discord or on the Fantasy Guru site, shout out to you. And good luck in Survivors. Good luck in your staff picks and other good stuff you got going on. Feel free to comment on the YouTube channel and say what's up. So
Armando wants to know if I'm trapped somewhere. That's what he just asked me, if I'm trapped somewhere. I am trapped in a little ass phone booth.
Clip it. Anyway, all right. Thanks you all for tuning in. And we'll catch you next time.